Login accepted.
So, welcome everybody. I hope you're enjoying Devoxx here like I do. It's really awesome to be in Poland. The second time in Krakow, and I really need to say I really love Krakow. It's a nice city. For the first time I ate borscht, I need to say, and it was very delicious. So I'm enjoying here, also talking today. So imagine that you were a sailor and you're sailing around the world. You were in the 16th century and you really loved it. But then you saw some pirates and pirates are coming to you and you were very afraid because they're hunting on your treasures. And you don't want that, so you try to go away because they murder, they rob, and they do all kind of things you don't like. So you try to get away. And today we're going to search for some Maven hidden secrets and treasures to build up your build. And we're going to find those treasuries and we're going to discover them all together. This will be a Maven pirate talk with some fun aspects in it and things you hopefully learn. So, the golden age of piracy, like in the 16th century, around North America or the middle, you had the West Indies. It was British. And there was a British guy called Blackbeard. And Blackbeard was a pirate. And he murdered, he robbed, and was going to small ships, and he conquered them. And then later on, he conquered a French warship or a frigate. And he was so, they were scared of him. And the British king sent someone to defeat him, and they did. He was murdered, like a lot of stab wounds and gunshots and that kind of things. His name was Edward Teach, that was Blackbeard, and he lived in the 16th, 17th century. And he was, people were very scared of him because he did things, walking the plank and that kind of things, I guess. Dus hi, my name is Turk. I'm working for Adesso. That's a small consultancy, or it's now a bigger consultancy company within the Netherlands and within Europe. I'm working at a bank in the Netherlands, Rabobank, and I'm going to the jug. So I hope you're also going to the jug here, because the jug is very fun. Who is going to a jug here? Just can I have a raise of hands still? Please go to a jug, because you can learn so much, and it's networking, and it's fun, it's free food, it's also nice, right? I'm also a developer, speaker, community lead, blogger. Follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn or something, let me know. So it begins our journey. We are going to find some Maven treasuries. But first we need to have a treasure map to find that one thing that we want, that's caching. But before that, there are also little treasures and secrets on the island. First, we are going to set up Maven, because there are multiple ways, you can do it multiple ways. We are going to profile our application, so we are going to check how our build time is doing. Lifecycles, like don't do a Maven clean install, right, Andres? I come to the back later. There are pitfalls, watch out, don't do them. We have some scopes, think about scoping. We are going to analyze dependency, which are used and which are unused, and get rid of the unused. Annotations, like everybody is using Spring Boot nowadays. Who is doing Spring Boot? Can I have a raise of hands? Yeah, almost 80%, so that's good, nice. You're very proud, I think. There's one from the Spring team also. And we're going to do some parallel builds, because that was already there since 2010 and nobody's using it, so I want to share that love. And then we want to have that caching. X marks the spot, or in this case, -T. So we begin with our journey to set up Maven. We are going to be a pirate. or we're going to act like a pirate. We are going to be that Maven specialist that we all want to be. And I think everybody can be a specialist, only you need to know it. So you can do this? Hold on. Yeah, a question, I think I know the answer, but who's using Maven here? Nice. Some Gradle people? Still, nice. Or both, that's also good. Aunt? No, that's good, perfect. So yeah, you see we're building with Maven. I'm not going to talk about Gradle, but I'm talking about Maven. But what you see in Maven, that is being used more and more and more. And why? Because it's so simple. It's just like, yeah, everybody hates XML, but it's like, not everybody, but yeah, it's simple. It keeps it simple, and it's not less complex, I think, if you compare it to other build tools, in my opinion. And you see, like, from the 2070s, from the JetBrains state of developer ecosystem, you saw that Maven was already there around 70% and Gradle 40, and they grow up, Gradle to 50 and Maven to 74. And Ant, it's decreasing, and that's with a reason, right? So how it started, nobody knows it, like it's a kind of history lesson. Maven was created by Jason van Zyl. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but it was in 2002. And that was Apache Turbine. And in 2003, it was accepted as a top-level Apache Software Foundation project. So it's already there for some time, and it's also improved there. So optional, you can download Maven via the site. You all know, I think. But there are also other ways. I like even more, because I don't want to go to that website. I don't want to go to maven.apache.org. I have my command line. And for that, you can use brew, or you can SDK-man. Is someone already using SDK-man here? Not everybody. Perfect. Yeah, of course, I know it. So SDK-man, I want to give a little demo. Just put this one away. So, SDK-man. Okay. I need to switch a little bit, sorry about that. I hate those touchpad. Yeah, it's there. Right, yeah, perfect. So what you can do is I want to go here. Oh, it's 2 times interesting. Clear. Yeah. So SDK list Maven. What you can do here is that you can list the Maven things. You already have a 3.9.8 stable version, and you can already use the beta version 4.0. You can still use it. Yeah, it's pretty stable, but yeah, a beta is a beta, right? So I'm using 3.9.6, and I even need to update. But yeah, this is pretty cool. But you can also use it for other things, like SDK list Java. Like sometimes you need to install the latest version of Java or another version, and you can just choose it and just SDK install the version that you want. So that's SDK install Maven and then the version. So that's pretty easy. You don't need to go to the website, and yeah, it's making your life a little bit easier because you don't want to waste your time, of course. Okay, next one. So, or use a Maven wrapper, and then I still need to switch again. Sorry for the switching. Yeah, what you can do on command line, I don't have, I can share it later on, is that you can create a wrapper, and with Maven, you install it in your project. So in your project, you can add the wrapper, and you don't need to install Maven for the next ones if you commit it to your repository. So there's a Maven wrapper shell script or command that you can use to run your build. More about that later. Yeah, we are going to sail. We are going to sail, and we're going to that to treasuries. We are going to do some profiling, because we want to profile our build. Like, I want to know, is my profile or is my build doing good? So what we are going to do is profile the build, check the speed of that one. So what you can do is something like this. It's an extension file, so you can create your hidden Maven folder, and you can add an extension.xml file. And you can add this, and you can also add it in your project. So everybody can use it, but if you want to use it for your own, you can better use it in your extension.xml file because you don't commit it to your repository. So we are going to do that. I will show you that. So there's a Maven here, and there's an extension file, and you can just uncomment it, and there you have it. So if we do a Maven clean install, I was waiting for that, and you can do a -d profile. So you can profile it. Oh, it's downloading all kind of things. What is going? Oh, it's always going. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's always, when you are live coding, such things happening. Thank you, perfect. You're the perfect audience. So it's going to all those stages. And we don't like that, of course, but this is like the full cycle I want to show you. That's like you're doing. So what it's doing, it's creating .profiler. Check it. This one is later, and you can open it in IntelliJ with a browser here. It's well hidden too. And I'm going to share this also with you. That's also handy. And here you have your build time. Like here you have your parent module. So you see here, like I have a module, the greeter library. It's, by the way, from someone from Spring. I am very happy with it, Eugene P. And you can, I also committed to my GitHub, so you can find it later on. But here you can see the duration of each plugin what you're executing. So you can imagine this is a small project, but if you have a big project, you see the build time is popping up. So so in that way you can see what am I doing in my build? Why is it taking so long? So you can, for example, see, hey, the default test is taking almost a second. Why is that? Maybe I need to look into my testing phase, to my test, because I'm doing something wrong with my annotations. I'm starting up containers, Docker, images, and that kind of things. So back to the presentation. So the next phase is, we did some profiling, and now it's time for us to improve our build. We're going into the life cycles. There are 3 life cycles. It's called clean. It's cleaning all the stuff, your target directory. And there's something called a default life cycle. And there's a whole bunch of phases in it. I don't going to share them here all, but there are a few where all the action happens. And you have the site where you can create your documentation and upload it to your web server and that kind of things. And then you have, walking the plank. We are going to clean some folders. There's a pre-clean. It isn't used. You have a post-clean. It isn't used, but you can use it if you want. The only thing now that is what's default is like the cleaning the target folder. So if you do a Maven clean, it actually cleans your target folder. So that's great. But the life cycles I can also share with you. It's also interesting. So like you can also have a pre-clean, and a pre-clean can something like or the post-clean, delete some stuff, your database. You need to delete a table or something, or a row in a table or something. And you can do that. So if you go to my POM, so I will move this a little bit here. You have also something called Oh, it's a POM. So if I build and I'm just doing this because something is messing up. What's happening here? It's always on stage, right? It's always happening on stage. Can I just do a git pull? One moment, sorry. Where's there's a site? Go Turk. POM. Where is it? Sorry? In different... yeah, probably. Thank you. You saved my day. It is in this POM probably. Yes, thank you. You saved my life. I was really like, I messed up a little bit. Thank you. You're the best audience indeed. So there's a pre-clean stage, and it's here. So if you go to this one, you see like I'm using an, oh, this is also not nice. I will format it a little bit, and then here. And you have a plugin called the Echo Maven plugin, but you can also use other plugins for this. And you have an execution ID, pre-clean, a phase pre-clean, and the goal is to echo it. So this actually is doing, I'm still bullying you, Andres, but I'm doing a Maven clean install, but it has some purpose. So it's downloading whole Spring Boot, and what you can see is it's doing a lot of stuff you don't actually want, but maybe it's a better Maven clean. That's better, right? It's cleaning. So we have a default clean, and now you can see we also have a pre-clean, and we have also we don't have a post clean, but because of that you need to say, hey, post clean, and then it's also doing that. So that's about this plugin. So next one. So, and then where the action is going. So the default life cycles. Pirates are fighting, your Maven project is fighting all kind of plugins, and we want to be quicker. But how can we be quicker? There's a whole list, what I'm saying, like in, it's not there, can I just click? Oh, I need to click here. So there's a whole list what I'm showing you here. Like the default, you have a clean life cycle, pre-clean, clean, post-clean, but yeah, the default life cycle, you can see it has a validate, initialize, generate sources, process sources, compile, everything. I don't want to mention them all, but the default life cycle has everything. But we are going into depth in something else. It's called the phases of build. So we have a build life cycle, and that's in case of a packaging. And in the POM, you have a default packaging of a jar. You can also make it an ear, or you can make it a war, or you can make it whatever, what is supported, right? And that phases are process resources, compile, process test resources, test compile, test, package, install, deploy. And it's doing all stuff with your project. But if you're doing a deploy, it's going down. It's going to process resources. I'm going to compile. I'm going to test it. I'm going to package it. I'm going to install it. And then I'm going to deploy. So think about the life cycles, what you're going to do, because it's going to execute them all in the build life cycle. And mostly you don't like that because, yeah, a Maven clean install is also been done a lot, and that's not needed. And then you have the phases of site. You have a pre-site and post-site, like pre-clean and post-clean. and it's creating documentation. And it can be handy if you have some documentation, but the most people, who's using Site here, by the way? I'm just interesting. Still some people, you're good in documenting probably, right? Yeah, nice. J-releaser, right, Andros, I guess? No? Which one? Bone checker, nice, cool, well done. So documentation is also something, so have it on a good state for you, also for others. And a phase is bind to a plugin and goal. So here you have the packaging, you have a process resources is doing the Maven resources plugin and doing the goal resources. You have a compiler plugin that's doing the compiling, resources and that kind of things. Surefire is going to test your application. So, and the next step, we're going into some pitfalls, my favorite one. Because, you have the Maven pilot lifecycle. And if you do a Maven clean, it's actually doing like the pre-clean. If you have that plugin, Ego Maven plugin, or some other plugins that's also there, you can do a pre-clean. And it's also cleaning. So you can imagine if you do a post-clean, you're also doing the post-clean at the end. With the Ego Maven plugin or something if you want. And this I have from Andres, he's famous for his memes about Maven clean install. What if I told you Maven verify is better? And that's actually true, because you don't need to do a Maven clean install all the times. But we are feeling like money, it's giving us power, status, and Maven clean install, right? So yeah, we can't just because we can do, but yeah, it's polluting and you need to wait, and your build time is also growing if you have a big project. Yeah, don't use it if you don't need it. If you only want to check your code and you don't want to install all those artifacts to your local repository, to your M2 folder, use Maven Verify to check and test your application. Don't do it like you can do. This guy on the front row is all kind of memes, so I really love it. I was really, and you think of like, hey, he has one, but he actually has a whole repository with those memes. So like he has now like 70, and then like Maven clean install, all those kind of things. Don't do it. I really love it. Thank you, Andres. I really, I hope more will follow in the, in the future. So, and then back to the Maven pilot lifecycle. We're doing a Maven clean install, but what are we actually doing, what I said? The phases with packaging jar. So what I'm saying, like I'm using the build lifecycle, and I'm going to show that, like if I'm doing a clean, I'm doing cleaning the target, and even if I pre-clean it, it's also possible. And then I'm doing a process resources, I'm compiling, test compiling, packaging, and installing. But the install package mostly you don't need. And it's just polluting, because you only want to test your own context, and you don't want to save the artifact to your local repository, because that's mostly useless. Those use Maven Verify. Yeah, what it's actually doing, what I said, it's using all kind of pirate plugins, the clean, the resources, the compiler, and many more, and jar plugin, the install plugin. So what you're seeing, all those things, mostly useless. Using a Maven Verify, yeah. If I'm doing a Maven Verify, you don't do the install. So you also have the pre-site, the site, the post-site, and site deploy. If you're doing Maven site deploy, you're deploying your documentation to a web server, and then it's going to site deploy. And it has two plugins, a site and a site deploy. It's a Maven site plugin, and it will execute those plugins. So you need to be aware that you have a life cycle, you have a phase, you have a plugin, and that plugin has a goal. That can be pre-cleaning or all kind of things. Be aware, you're not integration testing with Maven Clean Install, because you are doing just a normal test, a JUnit test, but you have Maven integration test. And that's mostly what I forgot. If I'm working, then then I'm forgetting, I'm committing, and then in your build, you see, oh, I forgot the integration test. And that's pretty stupid, but you can add it with the Maven files save plugin, and you can add it to a goal. So it defaults going to execute your integration testing. And then, that were the pitfalls. But now we are going to the scopes. Change your scopes. Like if you're testing some things, set your scope on test. So you have between brackets, you have test, or you can have it like compile and that kind of things, because it's saving your plugins to execute those, and it's also saving your memory. So that's something to remind. Demo, I will do it later because of the time. You can also use the analyze. So what you can do is a Maven dependency analyze, and it's analyzing all your dependency. So a quick demo. Can I just do this? No. No. So what we are going to do is, one moment, Maven dependency analyze, and it's doing the analyzing of your, it's downloading again. I'm happy that it's going good with the Wi-Fi here. So we now did a Maven dependency analyze. But what you can see here, we have all kind of unused declared dependencies. Like a lot, like, hey, it's like I'm using rest assured. It's not used, it's at compile time. Oh, maybe I need to change this test scope. A lot of, the Spring Boot actuator, it's like, it doesn't see that it's being used because there's no reference to it, because in Spring Boot is it. So what you can do there, that you can declare it in your POM that you actually use it. So so what I said, you have the integration testing here, this one. So you have the plugin here. I don't want to use that one, but can I do this? Perfect. So what you can do here is also, the format is not so nice, so let's do that also. So you have a plugin here, the Maven dependency plugin, and you can say like, hey, ignore this Spring Boot starter web or actuator because it's actually used under the hood. And then you know, like, hey, this dependency I'm actually using, because most of the time we don't know what we're actually using in the POM. We just add a dependency to it and just, okay. We don't use it, but leave it there. It's handy, maybe, for the future. I don't know. Use something like a dependency plugin to scan it and actually work on it, because in those dependencies can also be security risks. And if you're lucky, you have a system that checks those security issues. But if it isn't, you still have a problem, and you even not use it or somehow. So be aware of those kind of things. And then we are going to the annotations. I had a talk with Karl-Heinz Marbese, if I say it correctly, in at Javaland in Germany, and I was saying like, hey, I have some problems with my Maven build. It's so slow, and I said I have implemented caching, checked the scopes, and he said, did you check your test? Like in Spring Boot, you have a Spring Boot test, you have a web MVC test, JSON test, and more. So everyone is using nowadays Spring Boot test, even if you're checking your data GPA. But for that you have a data GPA test, because if you do a Spring Boot test, you actually check everything. You spin up all those containers that are needed for GPA, for your controller servers, maybe Jackson things and that kind of things. But maybe you can be concise, and if you do a JSON test, maybe you have annotation with JSON tests. So it saves you also spinning up some things for Spring Boot you don't actually need. Also, with a web MVC test, it's testing not everything, only a small part. So be aware, if you're using Spring Boot test in your application, and it's only testing your GPA stuff, you use data GPA test, because that's quicker and also mostly also better, I think. There's also a good talk about it. It was a Devoxx by Michel Schudel. It says everything about the annotations you should use and that kind of things. It's about onion slicing. And then we are going to some parallel testing. Yeah, you can, yes, I was also at Javaland. I was talking with Carl, and he was saying like, yeah, since 2010, okay, there's also something called -t, that you can test with multiple cores. So, yeah, I have a Mac, and it has 12 cores. So actually, I can use all of those cores to build up my project. And it's also saving a lot of time. And I was thinking, oh, it's there already for 2010, and I had no idea. So that's something you can also try to find out, is that working for you. So you can go to your system information, and then something like hardware, is that working? Yeah. Somewhere, yeah, of course, it's not working now. But you can see, oh yeah, the total number of cores. I don't know, can I zoom in? Oh yeah, sorry. That's a good point. So it's there. Yeah, you can still see it. Oh, wait. So if you look here, you see like I have 12 cores. Like I can do like mostly 12 times so fast, not always, that I can be fast in my Maven build. It's not always, like sometimes you have like 2 is also good to develop it, yeah, to build it. So that's pretty cool. So what you can do then is something like Maven -t 1 core, and do then the clean install or the clean verify. Don't use the install. And if you have 12, then you can use 12 cores. So it's even speeding up your build dramatically. Yeah, you can also add, yeah, if someone didn't lock their laptop, it's pretty funny. So you're going to create a directory in their project called .mvn, and you have only adding -v is version. So every time they are doing a Maven clean install, they only give it a version. And because it's hidden, he has no idea where to look. So yeah, that's yeah, it's just the bully, of course. But yeah, you can in your .maven project or directory, I need to say, you have a maven.config, and you can add something like this. Maven.config, that's a hidden secret, nobody almost know. You can also add skip tests. So every time he commits something, he is skipping the test. Or that kind of things. But of course you can also use the 12 cores if you want. So yeah, everything is possible there. You can also give it -u, that the updating snapshots and that kind of things. So that's about that. So yeah, it's also to be added by Open Rewrite. Who is not aware of Open Rewrite? Still some people? Okay, Open Rewrite is perfectly if you want to change your project because there's a Spring Boot update. You can use a recipe from Open Rewrite, and it will do it for you. And yeah, with the Git status, you can see like, hey, what is changed, and do I want to commit that? So that's pretty cool. And they also having Maven recipes. And something to be added by Open Rewrite is that you can add the parallel thing by default. So it's just, yeah, you're just running it. You can do it like I was showing you, but if you have no idea, and you see that recipe, and I just install it, and then, oh, I learned something new, and it's quicker then. But that kind of things is pretty cool of Open Rewrite. And then, X marks the spot, or yeah, -T we already saw, caching now. Caching artifacts locally. It's pretty awesome because you can adjust your POM file. So if you commit it, everybody can benefit from it. But if not everyone wants it, you can also commit it to an extension.xml file. So you can choose there if you only want it for your own, because you don't commit your .maven file mostly. Yeah, you can benefit from caching. And you can also do this with Gradle. There's also build cache. You can just use it, and they're promoting it pretty good, I think. And yeah, I'm just going to show this. So you have an extensions.xml, and I just want to have it for my own. Wait. So you have here. So you have an extension, and every time I'm caching, it's going to be quicker. So Maven, this IntelliJ, I really love it. Sorry, again, I'm using the Maven clean install just to make my point what it's exactly doing. It's downloading all kind of stuff. It's testing, it's compiling, we need to wait, and we need to wait, and then you get an exception. Oh, that's interesting. What's happening? Oh, 401, unauthorized. Okay, because probably I already implement caching. A Maven configuration. You can add a remote caching. So with remote caching, this one is true. So yeah, it's going to save your artifacts somewhere on the cloud or on-prem, what you want. And yeah, you can add it to a Maven build cache config. And you have a configuration, and you need to enable that. And let's enable it with true. And then you have yeah, your URL, and that can be yeah, this is locally. I don't have anything locally running. I wanted to do this yeah, somewhere on the cloud, but it's not a good idea with the Wi-Fi. So it's not, yeah, it's not working now. And you see, like, hey, you have a 401. It's because it's not working. Yeah, you can also use it indeed in your pom.xml, what I said. Like you can add it as a dependency. I'm again in the wrong directory. So analyze dependencies, and you can also do it locally. So you can also enable it through this way. And then you also edit your extensions. And then let's build it again. Okay, unauthorized still not working, of course. Why it's not working? GVM config. Oh, it's maybe because of this. I set it to false. Now it's working. So what you see here now is like I implemented caching. So implemented caching is like this now. Is 0.7.61 second. So that's pretty quick, because before it was like 5 seconds. And you can imagine if it's a big project, like minutes or sometimes half an hour. I was on a project, and then we implement caching. It was dramatically, it was shrinking like to like a couple of minutes. So you can save some time, even in your build pipeline, where you need to wait. Mostly you're going to commit something, and you need to wait because you want to deploy. Come on, I need to deploy the fix because there's a bug. And you want to have that as soon as possible. But if you don't need to build those artifacts, then you're quicker also to production. So that's pretty awesome. So yeah, let's continue. So it's what it's doing, the Maven Caching, it's an extension and it's saving to your M2 directory. If you didn't specify something, there's an M2 directory with your repository where all your artifacts are, and you have something called like a build cache. And that build cache is storing the caches for you in the V1. So in this case, it's the com.building, DAO module, and that kind of things. It's saving all those kind of artifacts in that directory. I also created, if you want to learn more about caching also, if you want to try it yourself, there's also a manual you can use. And what I said is also remote. I tried to get the Azure pipelines, but I was not allowed. That's a pity, but there's something called GitHub Actions, and you can also cache your artifacts kind of there. Check. Workflows, Devoxx. Okay, here I have, I added some things, and there's a build pushed. So what I did is, you need to have your artifacts cached. So you see here like a face also, and if I open it, you see it's also building. And it's building a Hello World project. It's going to download all those artifacts. So you see it's already downloading a lot. But for, that's the first time. But if you do the next time, and that's the next run, you are going to this one, you will see also a step here. And here, the building, and you will see that it's not getting all those artifacts. So you're also saving something there by just adding caching there. And you have it also for Azure caching. This is not specific on your own artifacts. It's not caching that one, but it's caching all those artifacts for you. And that's pretty awesome because you don't want to get the whole internet every time. You just want to have it somewhere on a cache server. In this case, I'm using GitHub, the workflow. Then the next question is, did we improve our build time? So we're going to profile again. So Maven, clean, install. Every time he looked like, and then profile it. And now it's generating another profile report. Sorry, it's a little bit tiny there, but. And you have here the latest one. And I want to open it. I need to think of a shortcut next time, but you have Chrome here. And you can see now it's like instead of 5 seconds, it's now 8 to 7 milliseconds. So like you see here, it doesn't execute all those plugin goals. So you can see like it's getting some echo Maven plugin, and then it's doing a pre-clean, it's doing a default clean, and then just a clean. Because, we just clean it. And then the next thing is we have some starters here, some easy application. And the only thing it's doing, it's the cleaning. Because nothing has changed. Because then we don't need to do anything. So if you do a Maven install, it's even quicker, because then you also get rid of the cleaning, because there's nothing changed. So your build time is super fast. And we can do this. It saves you a lot of time here. So I'm thinking like showing the previous example. Like here, it's maybe already there, but I just open it via this way. So here you saw, like, hey, the other ones, like it was 5 seconds, and you can see, like, hey, it was default jarring, default resourcing, default cleaning. Yeah, but if I change something, let's change something somewhere in the project. We have Spring Boot module, and we have a custom starter, and we have some sample app. Let's change something in the main here, main Java. And it's just agreed a sample application, and it's just running. And let's change something here. Adding comments. I don't know if that's working, but let's see. And then we're just doing it again, and we're profiling. You're already seeing it's doing the tests because it was already seeing that there were changes. So if you're profiling, I expect a next report. You can open in the browser, and then you will see, hey, it's also executing the other plugins because Maven saw that something was changed. So that's pretty cool. By adding this functionality, it saves you a lot of time. It's not perfect because sometimes there can be some misses, but that's another topic we can spend the whole day on. So, we improved our build time? I think we improved our build time dramatically, like from almost 6 seconds till even not a second. But you can imagine this was just a demo project. If I have a large project like a 30 minutes build, I'm only building on stage. So use it in your own project, and it saves you a lot of precious time, even in your CI. So that's also improving. So you're quicker. Quicker there. So the key takeaways. Know your life cycles. Don't Maven clean install without thinking. Dependencies. Profile. Delete unused dependencies. The scopes. Think about scoping. Testing. I was just stopping it. And the commands. It's annoying. I thought it was fun, but so it's giving some fun in it. And you have some commands, -t with the cores, or the cores you can add, of course. So instead of 1 core, you can have 12 cores. So it can also speed up your Maven build if you're having a large project. And implement caching. Caching is just adding an extension, what I said, like adding extension Maven in your POM, or Maven in your extension.xml file, and you're good to go. So that saves you a lot of time, and I hope you're also going to use it because it saves a lot of time there. So now it's okay, right? Thank you all for watching my talk, and I hope you find some treasuries you can use in your own project. And thank you very much. We have 2 minutes left. Thank you. And thank you, and don't forget to vote, please. Thank you. Enjoy. And if you have questions, let me know. Thanks.